Today we're removing the stereo from a 2007 Saturn Outlook. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver and a pry bar along with a 7mm socket. We're going to start with our pry bar. We're going to start with our Phillips screwdriver. Open this top pocket, and at the back of the top pocket are two Phillips screws here. We're going to remove these two Phillips screws. This factory stereo is what's called VIN locked, which means this stereo will come in and out of this car and work every time it goes in. If you replace this radio, you'll have to go to the dealership to have them code the car in order for the stereo to work. We've removed the two screws, and now with our pry bar, we're going to come up here to the corner of this panel here and attempt to pry the corner of this panel up from the dash with our Phillips flathead screwdriver as well. And you can feel here the clips release on the right side and lift this side of the panel up. We're going to do the same for the left side and pry this panel up. The reason for prying this panel loose is there's a lip on the top edge of the front panel that goes underneath this panel, so you have to lift this one up in order to get the second one to release. Now we're going to lift up this pocket and grasp the inside of the edge of this top panel and pull back on it, while at the same time taking our pry bar and prying along the edge of this panel to pull this panel from the dash. There we go. We'll work our way down and release all the clips. All these clips release with pry pressure. Now that'll allow us to pull this panel forward from the dash. Now this panel also has the passenger airbag sensor on it, and we're not going to disconnect this. Sometimes disconnecting the passenger airbag can throw a false sense to the computer in the car, and you'll have to go to the dealership to have them clear this light so that it works properly. But we're going to take this and spin it down to the side and set it here on the side of the center console and leave that attached. Next we're going to take our 7mm socket, and there are 4 screws that secure this car stereo to the dash. One on the bottom right, one on the top right, two on the left side here as well, one on the bottom left, and one on the top left as well. Now we have those screws removed. That is going to allow us to grab the car stereo and pull it from the dash. Now there are several connectors here on the back and an antenna. The antenna has a black round base on it. We're going to grasp the edge of that base, and this antenna just pulls from the back of the stereo. Now we have 2 main connectors here that have little triggers on the top of them. We're going to use our flathead screwdriver and push down on this trigger and hopefully wiggle this connector loose. Okay, there we go. There's one connector. We're going to do the same for the second. There's also a trigger here in the center of it. We're going to use our flathead screwdriver to push that down and also help us to pry it up out of the opening. Now these 2 connectors, although they look very similar, are different. They're keyed differently, so they only will go back and fit one spot. There's no sense to label those. But this is how you remove the stereo from a 2007 Saturn Outlook. Hope this video has been helpful. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching.